I once had a coworker tell me, there are 3 things you can get out of a trip. You get to enjoy planning it.
I planned most of it with Rick Steves' Best of Ireland book.
You get to enjoy going on it.
Uh-oh, he's trying to eat my shirt. Okay.
And you get to enjoy remembering it. So come along with me and my family as we share practical tips and our memories of Ireland. You ever feel like you're stuck in a soulless, windowless office? Well, if that's how you feel, then you'll understand my decision to go on this trip. There was one small catch to this glorious vacation, however.
I made it at a robotics camp, and it got popular because it could...
I would be spending the next 10 days in close captivity with my sister's 3 children, who I have not interacted with on a regular basis. I wanted to pack as light as possible for this trip so I could bring souvenirs back, so I only brought 3 pairs of pants for a 10-day trip in June. And to figure out what to wear, I actually tapped into a live camera of Dublin to look at what other people were wearing. And I've got links below, but I also got an Ireland UK international adapter and this portable mag case charger, which was critical on this trip. And if you're wondering how I got all those silky smooth shots, it's because I bought a DJI Osmo Mobile 7P, which is basically a fancy phone stabilizer. Despite my meticulous packing, as I was boarding, I realized I forgot to pack my headphones. Luckily, this was Aer Lingus.
Hello, how are you?
Ireland's premier airline, their airline that basically represents their entire country, from what I understand. And the luck of the Irish, they were very prepared for forgetful people like me. They had little Aer Lingus themed earbuds. As I got on the airplane, I really started to feel like this trip was becoming real. Me and my sister were getting excited, and just the little touches here and there let you know that you are no longer in America. Okay, so I am fascinated by airplane food. For this flight being about 7 to 8 hours, you get a dinner, which is here. The water comes in a Jell-O cup, and this milk comes in a tube. For the main meal, everyone got chicken and they ran out, so I got this weird thing called gnocchi, which is like mashed potatoes and flour. It's kind of like a pasta. It's very strange. It was not very good, and I could barely cut through this bread roll because they gave us wooden knives. For breakfast, it was actually worse. I love a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, but this one was ultra processed and just tasted like what an alien would make if they were trying to imitate human food. I tried to wash the taste out of my mouth with this somewhat stale coffee, but before we knew it, we had arrived. Despite getting about an hour's worth of rest on the plane, we were exhausted when we landed. Since it was 8 in the morning, we were unable to check into our hotel till that afternoon. And because we wanted to get on the right time schedule, we were doing everything in our power to not fall asleep. Before we were publicly shamed in the museum for falling asleep on the floor, we did get some great views of Dublin from the tower. And for a moment, I wanted to pretend like I lived there. This would be my morning coffee, and this was just part of my regular everyday walk to work. We were pretty tired when we got back to the hotel, but my sister booked this beautiful room that I had no business being in. The next morning, I insisted we have a breakfast at Keogh's Cafe. Despite the long line, we were able to secure the coveted Irish breakfast that I'd been telling my sister so much about, and this was the famous blood sausage.
It should be smaller than that.
Blood?
It tastes good. I just can't think about what it is.
It's got other things mixed in it, and it's much more like the consistency of like normal sausage. So, almost certain that this is it. Anyway, it's good.
Don't put it on in my porridge.
Once we were filled up on all the blood, we were ready for the rest of the day. Walking around Dublin with an entire family is very doable, but you definitely want to keep an eye on the kids because it's a little terrifying how close traffic gets them sometimes. We stopped at Trinity College to check out the library, which is absolutely beautiful. It also featured an exhibit on the Book of Kells, which is a super old religious book, and you can pay extra to go into this museum to learn more about it, but it just felt kind of flashy. And
It really felt how like we were just sitting around places doing nothing for long periods of time.
instead of the beloved Guinness factory, we took the kids to the Teeling distillery because we heard it was more family friendly. They walk you through the entire process of making whiskey and how it goes through these 3 stills to make the most pure whiskey possible, basically. And we got to taste some at the end. Yum yum, I love whiskey. And I made sure to instill good habits with my nephew with his mocktail. Did you try some? Did you try some of your mocktail? Yeah?
I like it.
Just like your uncle. For lunch, we had an authentic Dublin cuisine of McDonald's. And it's so familiar, yet so different. Instead of French fries, you can actually get these cucumber sticks.
It tastes like a cucumber.
They also have Biscoff McFlurries and shakes.
All right, this is the steakhouse thing. It looks like steak. It tastes like a really cheap steak or burger with steak flavor.
While most people may scoff at the idea of visiting McDonald's, I think it's an anthropological treasure trove. The amount of research and corporate science that goes into deducing what people want to eat here, even if it is kind of a bad steak-flavored burger.
You want to try a bite? No? You want to try a bite, Drew? No? Drew's just spacing out.
These kids are missing a great opportunity to taste Irish culture. Now, if you're traveling with kids to Ireland, there's a few things you should know. Everything is fried. Absolutely every piece of food here is fried. Chicken nuggets are commonly referred to as chicken goujon here. And they call fries chips here, so that can get confusing. Another thing to consider is luggage. My sister and her husband used to use one giant suitcase for the kids, but they figured out it's actually better to use smaller suitcases so they all carry their own weight. And also, this stroller folds up extremely small. They made the trip a lot easier with the 4-year-old. Overall, I wouldn't recommend spending more than a day in Dublin. And yes, it's touristy, but it's also full of many content people. In the late afternoon, you'll find many people come from all over the city to Stephen's Green, from new lovers to friends. The greenery and the laid-back feel will make you feel right at home. It's a big city with kind of a small town community vibe. Everyone after work seems to come out to the pubs and just wind down and relax. And knowing that they just taste better here, I had to have my sister sit down and enjoy a real Guinness with me.
George, what do you want?
That's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
While Dublin was easy enough to walk and get Ubers around, for the rest of the country we would need a rental car. And I'm just going to warn you, there's a secondary lot to the airport which has a horrific bottleneck when getting into these shuttles. If it's midday, plan on a couple extra hours to get your car. And this is the cute little Volkswagen we got. Now, I'm glad we didn't have any more bags, because cramming 6 of us with our luggage into here was no small chore. There are a few things to know about driving in Ireland.
No, but I mean, like, specifically.
1, you'll still be exhausted from flying from the United States, so you'll get tired on the drive randomly. 2, everything is opposite.
Why the heck is the steering wheel on the left side of the car
Right
instead
side.
of the right side?
Everything here is opposite. It's like opposite day.
Your entire spatial orientation of the car and the road will be off. And as such, the roads will feel tiny, and they are tiny as well. Look at this bus. On the way south, we stopped in Kilkenny at Lenahan's. It's just your typical old man's pub. There's no tourists, it's all locals. The food is good, and the service is just really top notch, and everyone is just playing music in the back or just chilling. From there, we made our way to Kinsale, which is a small fishing town known for its colorful streets and Fort Charles. One thing about Ireland is I don't feel like it's very handicap friendly. Just look at the size of these sidewalks, and everything is basically stairs. I think myself and my sister would agree one of the highlights of this trip was actually the hike from town all the way up to Fort Charles. It's called the Skilly Walk, and it's a little over 1.5 miles each way. You start in the morning at low tide. So low that this man's stuck in his fishing ship. And then as you make your way up the hill, you see more vegetation. And there's even a house with a garden and a cat. And then we had an amazing lunch at Bullman. This is my #1 recommended eatery if you come to Ireland and are down in Kinsale.
I got the duck confit Caesar salad, and it was delicious. And then everything else we got was so good.
And it's a small thing, but the fact that you could just get a beer while you're waiting for a table and drink it out on the shore was just really nice. Along with making it to Fort Charles, Ireland has a wealth of ancient ruins, and going up and casually touching them, and knowing that these same things have interacted with people from thousands of years ago, it makes you feel really tiny. Our next stop would be to Dingle. On the way there, my sister asked this kind lady for directions, but we were not prepared for the 15 minutes of restaurants and side excursions and other instructions.
The other thing. There's a bar called Griffin's on the left. Their food is very good.
Okay.
You want to keep left. Do not go between the Castle Inn and Knightley's. You're going across a Haddo,
Okay.
joining the R563. So you have to turn left into the village of Castlemaine. Take the Connor Pass only if the weather is fine.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay.
Just smile and nod, smile and nod.
We will remember all of that.
Will you?
We will remember all of it.
Will you?
Yeah,
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
That's all my pleasure.
We did not know where we were going, but sometimes that's when you find the best things. While winding through seemingly endless mountain terrain on the way to Dingle, we came upon this overlook. And one of the other drivers mentioned if we'd just work our way up the waterfall, we'd be greeted with a much more spectacular view. So we took a chance. We had found our own secret mountain lake.
Hey, Danny. Ann says the flies are getting in the car.
Oh boy. Okay.
While we had been basking in the glory of nature, my sister was getting eaten alive by mountain flies. That is her little hand waving a towel around trying to get the flies out, because we took the keys with us and left the window down.
Well, that was fun.
We would be spending the next couple days in a small Airbnb, and to save some money, we decided to go get groceries. Ah, consumerism! One thing I would like to point out is how tall the bread is. Like, look at it. I would like anyone who's Irish to leave a comment and explain why the American bread got the short jeans. Look at these eggs. Notice anything? No refrigerator. Somebody please tell me why. And while these Doritos and Pringles may look familiar, none of the flavors are actually the same as what you can get in the United States. Tangy cheese, flame grilled steak, and of course, prawn cocktail. It basically just tastes like cocktail sauce. While we were in Dingle, we decided to let the experts do the driving, and we actually elected to do a bus tour, which is great because you can actually concentrate on the views. And if you're worried about getting cold, they actually provide these really nice blankets. We were able to get these freshly caught crab roll sandwiches that were awesome on the trip too. And then we got to stop by this ring fort, which is now an animal farm. What would you rate Ireland 10 out of 10? Do you think I'm cool? And finally, they took us to Kruger's Bar, which is the most westerly pub in all of Europe. It's all the way over here. But what really impressed me about this bar was actually the bathroom. Like, look at how nice this is. The green tiles, it just, wow. This is a very nice bathroom. One thing I didn't anticipate was how stressful it is to travel with family. Like 3 kids, you do not get a break. Props to my sister and her husband for dealing with them, because I just about lost my mind dealing with them. It's very stressful. But then again, you would never get to travel if you didn't take your kids with you, so you gotta bring them with.
Hey, look at my poopies. Look at my poopy shoes.
Your poopy shoes?
When the washer and dryer didn't work in the Airbnb, I absolutely started to appreciate the privileges of being an uncle and being able to walk away when the kids were too emotionally much for me. But it also kind of made me wonder, what would it be like to have kids? That's why when we went to the islands, I made sure to try and soak it all in. Our first stop was Blasket Island, an island that is so remote, the only way to get there is by boat, and then a raft up to the shore. It basically holds this old town that was abandoned, and there's tons of seals on the beach. But what's really cool is you can go around the island in a couple of hours on a hike. Whoops! We also went to the Aran Islands, but you have to get there via the Dublin ferry. And when you get there, you should take the bike tour. Just remember, the bicycles are not in the best of shape, so choose wisely. There's also a bona fide beach here, by the way.
We're gonna try and see how cold the water is here in the Aran Islands in Ireland. Haha, okay, well, that's the end of my shoes. Okay, no! This is gonna suck. It's not funny.
It was a pity that my shoes were now wet, because I was about to go on a long hike up a 3,000-year-old fort called Dunangasa. This thing is straight on the edge of a cliff, and there's no guardrails. Do not let your children near the edge. My God, it is terrifying. I am horrified of falling to my death. There is nothing more terrifying to me than looking over the edge of this cliff. Sweet Jesus. And I cannot imagine who built this and thought this was a good idea. It makes my entire groin hurt to look over that edge. The great thing about the ferry that takes you to Aran Islands is that it also does a tour of the Cliffs of Moher from the seaside. And while it's crowded on the boat, the views are kind of worth it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the Cliffs of Moher?
I would rate the Cliffs of Moher a 8. I would rate it an 8.
1 to 10.
No.
Your number
I
is
don't
no?
know.
For our final days in Ireland, we would spend it at the Drummelin Castle, but the castle was too expensive, so we stayed in the hotel next to it. By the way, there's no air conditioning in Ireland, just fans. As we concluded the trip, I needed to know how I performed as an uncle.
What do you think about bringing Danny, your brother, on this trip?
It's been great. It's been so fun. And he's been extra helpful.
In case you don't believe her, listen to my brother-in-law.
Danny's a great guy. He's
I didn't tell you to say that?
no, he didn't. No, he's incredibly kind, generous, optimistic.
You should come on every family trip with us.
Success. I had mastered the art of uncling and children on a trip. I got closer with my nephews and my niece. Traveling here and creating memories really took my breath away. I remember feeling so small watching the waves crash into giant rocks, or seeing evidence of activity from thousands of years ago. Also, you have not seen the color green until you visit Ireland. I also know that not everyone has the privilege to be able to travel like this, or with a family like I did. So I hope this video made it kind of like you're part of my family today. The last thing about a great trip is that you get to remember it. I told the kids at the family screening of this video that this green Gatorade was actually leprechaun juice. But all gags aside, having my family watch this video together and seeing their reactions was priceless and was the most gratifying part about making this video. Even though it was an exhausting trip, I think I'm happy that I got the memories.
Well, I hope you liked my Ireland video. If you're watching this far for some reason and you're still here, you should start typing something about what you like about Ireland and how much you like Danny and what a good friend he is. You're definitely one of the few percentage of people now at this point if you've stayed this long. So you should say something and just let me know that you stayed to the end. So I have to go. So I'm gonna walk away.
I always try to bring something back from my trips, and I noticed everyone wears these weird handyman pants. So I went to the local store and got my own pair. And just look at how they look on me. Look at those extra pockets. I can't wait to have a project at home so I can wear them. So yeah, this is what I brought home.